Hello to anyone watching. I'd say it's about a good time to start working on today's Advents of Code challenge. I've not looked into it yet, but given how these usually go, that should end up fine. Anyways, let's see what today's challenge is. Alright, that does work, nice. Gift shop, huh? Alright. Oh, this could be an issue. Okay, it looks like this doesn't quite work in the way I thought it did. I might need to change how OBS is set up. Ah. Oh yeah, that would do it, wouldn't it? That's more like it. Now I can scroll. Uh-oh. Checking invalid IDs. Ah, finding palindromes, basically. Well, not palindromes, but repeated sequences. That's funny. Interesting. I'm not quite sure how I would solve this, but I could at least try starting by parsing the data. That's usually a pretty good place to start. For this I'll just do the same thing I did yesterday because it works quite well. Last one. Showing my Pythonisms, oh no. Probably going to be some results. Question is what kind? They are just number ranges, but the question is how do I want to store those? I think I'll just keep them as a range for now. As expected. What type's IDX? I'll assume that's just data type, which U size is fine. Actually, some of those numbers are quite big, I think. We can actually get the input, that could help as well. Ah, I can't get it from here, that's let me get it from an actual browser then. Once it's all on a single line. Some of those numbers are pretty big, so I think it's probably better to use 4Q64. Putting commas is usually a pretty good start. That'll get me the number ranges. Map that. Do it. R is not the range, so split ones on dash. I can probably do this. That seems like it works. Work? No, it does not. But I can just format macro that, in which case it will work. Now I can start. That's those two then. Then that needs to be imported, which can return error. And map that to this one's going to be pretty much the same, just with end instead. I'm just going to copy paste that because I'm lazy, as any good programmer should be. And then just that shouldn't be a range, that should be multiple ranges. So box slice should be good, as it's not going to change its size at any point. It should be fine once I wrap that in OK. The result is not. Oh, right, I'd have to put OK here. And there we go. Input parsing, nice. Question is the range inclusive or inclusive or not? Velocity, so those are inclusive ranges, meaning this needs to be doubled equals. Oh, because that's range inclusive, not. There we go. Well, that's the easy part done. Now the struggle begins. Now for the real struggle. Actually trying to solve this problem, because I'm not sure how I want to do this. Can be equals to I'll try. You're supposed to do this nicely. I can just include this some part here. It's fine. Easy to work with anyways. And the lazy approach. Well, lazy. Guess the lazy approach would be to just, for each range, iterate over every number in the range, and if it matches that pattern, then wait, it's only ideas that are just repeated sequences, repeat exactly twice. That's not too bad. You just filter out the range, I guess. I could do like could do this with a helper function. That look nicest. Here it wants for hardest part of programming, naming things. Yeah, that can be a reference. There we go. Now it's just for one range. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Turn it into a string. That's not what I wanted. So first of all, it has to be of even length, just for starters. Otherwise, it's never gonna have that sort of repeated sequence. Okay, why doesn't that work? Two string. That's better. Where does a move occur? Filter. Clone range? I can clone a range. That's better. Okay, so as we even length and just need it's easier for doing the points. The points can just be this. Then come on. 2, and then I can just say digits adds should be equal to digits adds that should be the check, I think. These actually, just to be safe, let's test it first with should be able to just grab the example input from here. The actual line wraps. Why are the line wraps in here? I didn't want those. Well, let's see if that matches what I expect. It should be. That looks correct. Well then. Let's see if I actually solved it in one try. No way, right? No way it was that easy. Well. Oh. Well, that's fun. $38, you say? Parse input. Huh? Okay, where is that? It's gonna be one of these two. That's what debuggers are for. This is annoying because what I don't see is where. Question is, where would there even be an invalid digit here? I can think of one thing maybe. That might be the new line. Can I do that? I can do that. Does that work? Oh, I guess it's right. I'm just realizing I've had this up the whole time. I am stupid. Very professional streamer. That's what I get for not paying attention, I guess. Well, hopefully the commentary's been worth anything. Input parsing's pretty simple. The solution turned out to not be as bad as I thought. Now the real question, did I get it right? I can tell you now, that is not what I was looking for. Why is the right value not on my clipboard? Try that again. Well, hey! At least part 1 wasn't too bad. Let's see about part 2. That's gonna be a problem. Oh no, at least twice. This was gonna happen at some point, wasn't it? Oh no. Yeah, that is more difficult. How do I want to do this? So it could be... if it contains a sequence of a certain... if it contains a sequence like this, length again has to be divisible, but instead of divisible by 2, I just need to find what its divisors are. Annoyingly, odd length strings can also be there, so... I can think of a simple solution with brute forcing, but I don't like that. There has to be a better way. I don't know how, but I know there must be one. Question is, how do I deal with that? Start with something similar to this. Doesn't have a function for divisors, but subsequence problems are always kind of tricky to reason about. I should remember from last time. Actually show the code maybe. How do I want to make this work? I do want to find that. Let's see if the standard library has something nice for finding numbers divisors. Yeah. Just gonna have to write the function for computing divisors. That's fine. Does it need to be a box? Probably not. Is it gonna be a box? Sure is. Not a bad start. Start at 1, go up to... My screws is... perfect, exactly what I was looking for. Actually, I can... Again, crimes against iterators. This should be pretty doable though. Filter. No. Yeah. Well then, that ain't nice. That should find the divisors, right? Does it? It should. Almost. This is only gonna find D, where in reality I want more. If, for example, you have 10, I'd want to find 1, 2, and 5, but I squared of 10 is gonna come out to 3, so it won't find 5. I don't. In the list, you want to have D and n divided by D. flap mode do I need here? I think it is. Into D and N. Div D. That should do it actually. Tuples aren't iterators, good to know. Then I'll just have to make it mix with slice. And that should do it. Just to be safe. Should it be necessary? Is it necessary? Probably not. Does it hurt? Also no. Expected to find... Expected to be... That works. Let's hope I wrote the test correctly too. It would be nice if it got compiled. To do macro my beloved. It was gonna find 10 as well. Of course. Because that's gonna include the number. Skip 1, it shouldn't though. Because now it doesn't find 1 as divisor, which I'm actually kind of okay with, because I didn't want that one included anyways. Well, I guess that works the way I need it to now. Also, I did forget something. Usually after part 1 I would make a commit. Still do that though. Alright. Nothing like altering commit content by just copy pasting out of a file. Amazing. For each divisor. Okay, do I have some like windows or chunks here? If I do, that would be nice. Probably turn into cars. Don't get those methods the way, that's a shame. Doesn't look like it. but I'm probably not the first one about this, so there's probably something here. Chunks in the thing. Don't like that. I'm seeing something with fold, but I don't like that. How do I want to deal with this? Do it as bytes technically. I mean, since we know it's only ASCII digits, as bytes is probably the easy solution. Probably a good solution too. Then I get chunks exact, which is nice. This is actually probably good use for reduce actually. Not quite reduce. I suppose fold does it. And this will be true. Doesn't quite have the early return I want, but it's not quite what I need. This is kind of annoying. Probably it's gonna be some form of fold then. Start with actually, there might be something nice for this. Oh, looks like there's something. Oh. almost thought I had something nice there, but no. Guess that's fine. Easy to do. And because I don't get windows, that's annoying. Wait, you can just... Oh, I can't. So he's just gonna go full... This is kind of annoying to influence, but it's not too bad. If I don't care too much about efficiency, it's terrible. I said to where's everything there now? That's stupid. Technically skip one if I do it this way. I have an idea. Let's do something. That's not what I needed. That doesn't quite do what I needed. I'll just stop trying to be fancy. Oh, I should be able to do this is still. Up to visor. Hell of an expression, that. Then just make it a reference, stupid. So, hell of an expression. So, if there is a subsequence, then if a subsequence has been found, That means there won't be another subsequence we need to check because the ID is invalid anyway, so we can just run through. If not, then it's just false. On a hell of a function, there's no way it works, right? I would be very surprised if this works the first time. What a mess. There's no way it just works, right? Oh wait, just works, right? Let's see if the example works first though. It finds the exact same number, so I'm gonna assume no. Well, that would be why. Frickin' hell. Falling a bit short, that's suboptim because I'm not including sequences of length 1. Because I'm not including 1, which is annoying. Could check like this and just do. Wrap that properly. That actually that might do it. Still need to wrap those. Can I just make them slices? Ah. That's annoying. Can I just... could wrap it in a different type. I don't really want it, but I might have to. Don't think I have much of a choice. Ah, well. That's the downside of needing to yield 1 or 2 elements. Alright, memory overhead it is. Still missing them because 1 being included don't do enough apparently. Probably be an inclusive range as well, if I'm being honest. That doesn't... How did the first one work if I forgot that it has to be an inclusive range? Pure luck, I suppose. Again, why does my code work? Half the time it really shouldn't. Okay, here goes nothing. Oh. It's not very efficient, but it worked. Question is the answer correct? Moment of truth. Too high. Not correct. The question is why is it not correct? That is going to be annoying to deal with. It is currently going to count all the single digit ones, is it not? Those get in range? Sure are. I think for single digits this would not work correctly. Let's test that real quick. Probably use super instead. Now I can just it shouldn't find any really. Because a range with single digits shouldn't have any. So, yep, as expected, that's just like sum from 1 to 9. So for starters, that's wrong. Also, if for any prime length, I think this also works. Like it also shorts, like it also fails, I think. Because if skip ends up yielding an empty iterator. Like, what does this return if skip ends up being empty? Starters, that should already fix this. Correct. It's not upright numbers, because like technically even prime length numbers could have a sequence like that if all digits are the same. Like, what would happen if, for example, I was doing, say, 512 up to 600. There should be no actual runs in there. No, 555 is. Suppose if I just go to 540, that means there should be no sequences in here. So this shouldn't sum to anything, which it doesn't, which is good. Question is, what does it return now? I think it was something else as well. Let me check something here. That part still works. I'm gonna test a bit more on this input first though. Mostly because it runs a lot faster. Go 3. Does get that one correct, and I think it might just have been that. At least I sure hope it is, because if not, then I don't know what the issue is still. Guess we'll find out. I think it's lower than the last guess, right? Don't have on clipboard anymore. Ah. Ah. Imagine if OBS just behaved. Could not be me. Whoop, moment of truth. It totally was single digits. Well then, that was not as bad as I expected when I first saw the challenge. Yeah, with that alone, that is not bad. Also, I guess I should show off what the counter looks like with the complete, shouldn't I? Looking good. Anyways, yeah, that was a lot better than I anticipated. It's probably not the cleanest code. You could probably do it more efficiently, better, but it works. So, I mean, this check, for example, you could just do if less than equal 9. It is fine though. Performance isn't the most important bit here. This code isn't that performant to begin with. Again, fast programming languages like Rust are only fast if you're writing good code. If you're just slapping something together, you can still make absolutely horrible performance. But it's fine because it does work. And to save that, all good. And I guess since this run has been a bit shorter than I anticipated, because I did need to spend a lot more time yesterday, guess I can quickly go over the crimes against iteration I committed yesterday too. Yeah, this one better than anticipated. Anyways, for anyone interested, yesterday's crimes were probably worse. Because, shouldn't be too bad, but I made the decision to, you know, make custom types instead of just throwing everything to an I-32, which I should have probably done. Still, the code worked pretty well. First, just like today, parse the input, but this one was line by line. Just simply match the first character to get left or right, and then just parse the number from the rest. That worked pretty easily. First part was pretty simple. Just actually take that rotation struct that I made and just turn it into an I-32, which I should have probably done to begin with. And sign is just left for -1, right for 1. Simple as can be. And then Euclidean remainder, which is basically just a proper modulus operator, as opposed to my first attempt, which was mod, which apparently doesn't do negative numbers for some reason. But this one works. And then of course, if you land at 0, you add a 0. If not, then not. The second part was worse because I went about the quotient and the remainder. but because edge cases, you need fudge factors. It doesn't look pretty. It's not pretty. But it works. And again, of course, everything's just an iterator with map and fold, because I'm just horrible like that. But it works, doesn't it? Yeah. I think that's everything for advent code for now. If I have time, I might be back for more of the worst Rust code you've seen tomorrow. Let's see if tomorrow's challenge is more difficult than today. Anyways, I think I've had enough for today. So, hopefully till next time. Goodbye.